Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining the PMC Rider Orientation. My name is Jared Collins. I'm the president of the PMC, and we're going to allow just about 3 minutes here for additional riders to show up. I know a number of you are just getting logged in, and so stand by, but at 6:03 sharp, we will start the webinar. Thanks very much. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the PMC 2023 Rider Orientation. My name is Jared Collins, and I'm proud to be the president of the Pan Mass Challenge. I'm also a 15-year rider. On behalf of the PMC's office staff, I want to thank you for spending some time with us this afternoon and joining today's webinar. We have a full plate of information today. Our goal is to finish in about an hour. And that leaves time for answering some of your questions. If you do have questions at the end of our prepared remarks, please type them into the Q&A button on your Zoom window. Our staff will answer as many questions as we can that are relevant to other riders too. If we don't answer your question, don't despair. Contact us here at the PMC office Monday through Friday. If you go to the pmc.org website, you'll see our contact information there. And one last thing, so you don't feel the need to take notes for the next hour, we'll be sending out a link to this webinar by tomorrow. Now, it's my honor to introduce the founder and executive director of the PMC, Billy Starr.
Thank you, Jared, and welcome all. I want to thank you all for committing to the PMC. It's been said and written about the PMC that to get to the PMC experience, one has to commit. You can't experience this weekend on your own. And after 44 years, it's still true. You know, it used to be a very intimate, small event. That hasn't been true for over 20 years. But that intimacy has been replaced by something bigger, and that is a palpable feeling of what can be achieved when a group of people work together on an expansive idea. Firstly, of course, physically transporting 6,000 plus riders across 47 states and 47 cities and towns and 370 miles of infrastructure all over central and eastern Massachusetts and Cape Cod. And big impact. The dollars we raise and its impact on Dana-Farber and acceleration of treatments and protocols that translate into life-saving cures. And is all of our aspirations for ourselves, our loved ones, and the generations to come. So, having said that, I want to give you a couple of bullet points. Susan, feel free to roll it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you've heard we have a $70 million goal, and that the PMC has raised $900 million since 1980. And that's a net number. That number represents, on an annual basis, over 56% of all money raised for the Jimmy Fund. So we're fond of saying there's a lot riding on us and now you. The PMC and its 100% pass-through allows people to raise money aggressively. And the beneficiary being a world-class institute right here in Boston, but exported to the world, resonates with your extended world as well. Next slide, please. This one's a little harder to read, but just so you know, PMC is bigger than the next 8 out of the 10 top bikeathons in the country, or the top 4 all rolled together. So there's some special sauce about this weekend. And it's fair to say, it's the bike events and its demographic, but most specifically, people like you who really reach to their extended community in support of Dana-Farber's work through the PMC. So I encourage you all to do all the work, read all the literature. There's a lot to learn about the PMC weekend, and imagining that most of you in this call will be part of the live 2-day or 1-day weekend. I promise you, you will have a great time, but you will come out and say, you know, I can do that smarter next year. There's a lot to learn. And so to start that educational process now, I turn it over to Bill Alfano, Director of Sponsorship and Marketing. Thank you all. Have a great PMC weekend.
Thank you, Billy, and thank you all for being here tonight and taking time out of your schedule to learn more about the PMC and how to make yourselves, ready for fundraising and ready for the ride. I'm going to talk today a little bit about the marketing of the PMC and some of our core programs. All of our marketing efforts start with storytelling. We use your story for press and social media, website, videos, and podcasts. The goal of that is to increase both our participation as well as your fundraising and the overall fundraising of the Pan Mass Challenge. It's not easy to get to the goals we set, and we want to make sure you have all the tools and amplify your stories as much as we can. The first step for storytelling, which you'll hear about later from Jessica, but is to update your profile page. Make sure that your story is there with photos that represent who you are. And then if you'd like to share your story with potential PMC community or press, you just email it to me in the form of a YI. And you can email that to me at alfano@pmc.org, which you can also find on the website. When we talk about some of our programs, one of them in particular is the Pedal Partner Program, which is presented by MFS Investment Management. These are pediatric patients at the Jimmy Fund Clinic. We match them with teams or riders or kids rides. And the reason for it is to show the kids as well as their families that they are not alone. And there's this big community behind them, riding for them and raising money for them. There's a Pedal Partner Party this coming Saturday at Fenway Park. And there's a huge Pedal Partner tent in Lakeville for those of you riding on Saturday. There's also signage up on all of our routes, both Saturday and Sunday, representing the Pedal Partner Program and these kids who are part of it. We do still have a few unmatched children from the Jimmy Fund Clinic who are looking for a team or a group of riders to ride on their behalf. If you are interested to become a pedal partner team, please email Sophie at sophie@pmc.org. The last thing I'm going to talk about today is living proof. We celebrate living proof riders and volunteers. Last year, there were 950. We celebrate them both at Mass Maritime Academy on Saturday and Babson College on Sunday. Living proof riders and volunteers are adults who are currently or have gone through cancer treatment. We celebrate their life, we give toasts, and we take pictures. It's one of the cornerstones to PMC weekend. If you have any question about living proof, pedal partner, or any of our programs or storytelling, please feel free to reach out to me or throw a question in chat like Jarrett said at the beginning. Now I'm going to turn it over to our fundraising guru, Jessica Otto-Gay.
Hi, everyone. Like Bill said, I am Jessica Otto-Gay, and I am the fundraising associate for the PMC. Thank you so much for being a part of the PMC community and for joining us. Tonight, I am going to take you through a few pieces of information you should know about fundraising for the PMC. Where to start, when to start, which if you're here watching this right now, you should start right now. All of the information I'm speaking on tonight is in our fundraising guide, developed for riders to follow while fundraising, whether they're a first-year participant or a 20-year alumni rider. It's packed with helpful information and can be found on our website. As a registered participant, you've probably already logged into your account through the PMC dashboard. The PMC dashboard is the home of all your fundraising resources. You can track your fundraising progress, manage your PMC contact lists, create a Facebook fundraiser, and view your rider or volunteer registration status all through the dashboard. For more information on how to navigate and use the tools on the PMC dashboard, please view our tutorial video. After you complete registration and are logged into the PMC dashboard, the first thing you will want to do is set up your PMC profile page. This is the online page you will send out to your donors for them to view your story, your photos, and your fundraising goal. Tell your donors how you became involved in the PMC and why it is important to you. Maybe include an impactful moment from a past PMC that has stuck with you over the years, or a story about how you became involved if you are a new rider. You can add multiple photos to your photo gallery, so pick some good ones. You will want to set a goal for yourself to strive towards. Aim high, and don't worry, the goal you set will not change your commitment. After your profile page is fully set up with your story, photos, and a goal, you can move forward with your fundraising campaign, be that through handwritten letters or with the email templates we offer for you to personalize. In your ask, you will want to include your story along with the PMC's $900 million lifetime donation, the 100% pass-through, and the impact it has made on Dana-Farber's mission to save lives through world-class research and patient care. Don't hesitate to ask more than once. Our experience shows that riders that ask consistently end up the most successful. The best time to start fundraising is as soon as you register, and if you haven't started yet, now is the best time. You should send out updates on your fundraising or training. You should ask around PMC weekend, and you should ask again before the fundraising deadline in October. Use our contact management tools and personalize each email to send your ask to your online donor list. Another thing you can use the email templates for is thanking your donors after they make their donation to your fundraising page. Please view our tutorial videos for more information on our email templates and how to import and merge your PMC contact lists. Once your profile page is complete, you are ready to launch your Facebook fundraiser. It is very easy to do, but very important that you set up your integrated Facebook fundraiser directly through your PMC dashboard instead of through Facebook. Setting it up while logged into your account on the PMC dashboard ensures that all donations received will be directed to your PMC account. PMC Facebook fundraising has proven to be incredibly successful, so if you have a Facebook account, I encourage you to set up a Facebook fundraiser. Along with not setting up a fundraiser directly through Facebook, I have two other very important fundraising don'ts that I want to highlight for you. Do not create a fundraiser through Instagram. The donations do not include a rider name attached, which makes it impossible to credit the donation to the intended rider. Also, do not use GoFundMe or any external fundraising platforms because they do not pass along the rider name and they take out fees too. Please use the PMC fundraising tools for all of your fundraising efforts. The PMC app contains the same tools as the PMC dashboard, just right on your phone. Use the app to mobile deposit your fundraising checks, manage your fundraising, thank donors, and import contacts directly from your phone. You can also view the event handbook through the app as well. The app is available for iOS and Android. Now, let's talk about the different ways your donors can support your PMC fundraising. The two most common methods of donating are through credit cards on the PMC website and checks. For check donations, the quickest way to deposit is by using mobile deposit on the PMC app. If your check needs to be split between multiple riders or includes any special instructions, please send it to our office with your rider number included either on the check, on the envelope, or on a note included in the envelope. We accept stock donations, IRA distributions, along with Venmo via your personalized flow code. And last but not least, donor advised funds, also called charitable giving accounts, are the fastest growing vehicle for charitable giving. If you have any questions on any of these ways to give, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself or any of the people on the fundraising team. Our CFO, Michelle Summer, our office administrator, Danielle Tata, and our fundraising manager, Dina De Silva, are also on the fundraising team with me. Another way to maximize your fundraising efforts is for your donors to take advantage of their company's matching gift program. Many of your donors work for companies that will match their employees' donations. So 3 important things to keep in mind about matching gifts are there can be up to a 3-month lag for the PMC to receive the match information and for the match to be credited to your account. Have your donors include your rider name or ID in the note field of the match request so we know who to credit the match to. That's very important. There should be a comment field in all match requests. They always want to include at least your name, if not your rider ID. And you will have your donors use the same name on the donation they make to your PMC account as they put on their match request, so we can credit the match to the intended rider and tie the donation that they made back to the match that they are requesting. Designated funds. Some riders choose to direct their fundraising to a specific research fund at Dana-Farber. Any new riders or riders who want to change their fund designation must email that request to me. And then riders who want to keep that designation in the future must confirm this during the registration process. And if you have any questions about this process, please don't hesitate to contact me at any time. All right, 2023 heavy hitter. A heavy hitter is a rider that raises at least $10,000 for 2023, and a top 10% heavy hitter raises at least $16,500. This is not a required milestone to achieve, but just something that riders can strive towards. Over a third of our riders achieved the heavy hitter milestone for 2022. A few added benefits of achieving the heavy hitter status. Heavy hitters will receive a gift, and you will not receive this gift until the fall after the fundraising deadline approaches and we reach the fundraising deadline. This year's heavy hitters gift are slides from UFOS. Heavy hitters will also have early access to registration for 2024, and heavy hitters will also be invited to buy tickets to the heavy hitter evening in April of 2024. So as you begin your fundraising, please remember that when you are reaching out, that you are inviting people to be a part of something impactful. So be sure to use the tools and information on our website. And lastly, please reach out to us at any time. All of us are here to support you and help you reach your fundraising goal. Up next is my friend and colleague, the PMC's Director of Volunteer Operations and Kids Rides, Justine Darmanian.
Thank you, Jessica. So welcome, and thank you everyone for coming. Thank you for riding. We're really excited for this year's PMC and cannot wait for you to join us the first weekend in August. So I'm going to kind of talk about a lot of different things. So first, going off, talking about your rider kit and credentials. So this is something that you get, and it kind of starts your PMC weekend. So you can pick this up and check in Friday, either at Sturbridge or at Babson College in Wellesley. Whichever you've put as your starting location is where you're picking up your kit. So you can do that Friday, you can do that Saturday, and then Sunday for our Sunday riders. In this kit is this jersey, which you see here. You may have seen our jersey reveal video, and it's a really cool jersey. We're really excited about it. I think it's going to look really great on you all. So get excited about that. You'll also get a wristband, name tags, bike tag, luggage tag. These are your PMC credentials. You do need to have your wristband on the whole time. This will give you access in and out of our sites, especially because some of our sites are closed to only riders and volunteers of that site. So that's really important. You'll also get a 2023 PMC sock, and so it will match the jersey, so you can have a little kit going on, and then a water bottle as well. So if you do need to change your jersey size, this is something that you need to do before July. So that way when we do registration packing in July, we have your correct jersey size, and you can do that by going on to your PMC dashboard and just changing it in your event options. So next, part of the check-in process, there's a few things to kind of keep in mind. You do need to make sure that you have a valid government issue photo ID. This is really important. You also can't have someone else pick up your kit or you pick up their kit. This is extremely important just from a safety measure, as well as just making sure that we have all of our riders accounted for, and making sure all riders are going to get their wristband put directly on them. So this is something that has to be done during registration. You must have your PMC credentials again on you and on your bike. So you'll get a bike tag that you'll put on your bike, and this will actually have information, or excuse me, it will have tracking on it. And I'll talk about that in a second, but that will, one, we can know you're a PMC rider and you can go into our sites again, and two, you can get tracking. So with that, I'm going to talk a little bit about tracking. And really important, everyone loves to be able to share their location with their family and friends, and this enables you to do that. So there's going to be a chip that will be on your bike tag. You'll want to put your bike tag how Billy has his here, and this is the most efficient way to ensure that you do get tracked. The chips are going to be scanned via tracking mats, as well as side scanners at start lines and in and out of every water stop and at the finish line. So this will give your family and friends notifications to let them know that you've gone through, and they can meet you, along the route. Make sure that you follow the instructions that come with your credentials, and we'll be definitely sending out more information about this as well, that as it gets closer. So you don't have to worry about this now, but this is really important PMC weekend, especially if you do want to get tracked. So I'm also going to talk about what to pack or carry PMC weekend. So you may have recalled I mentioned you're going to get luggage tags. This is so we can help transport your luggage throughout PMC weekend. We actually do have volunteers that help transport this. They put it on the truck, they take it off the truck. If you're staying on campus, they bring it to your room, which is really great. We do ask that you limit it to 25 pounds per bag. This is just because we have people that are actually lifting these bags, and we have thousands of bags that we are carrying throughout the whole weekend. So we just ask you to be conscious about that. This list is going to be available in our handbook. You can see it here. We'll also be sending out this webinar or Zoom meeting after this. So don't worry about writing down every single thing. You could always screenshot this. Some of the big key things to note are rain gear. It can suddenly rain out of nowhere, have a summer rain, and you want to be prepared. You do not want to be soaking wet and get hyperthermia. It can happen. So we ask that you do carry a light rain jacket. You can carry that with you in the back of your jersey, and just be aware of that, because things can change in a moment's notice, and you want to be as prepared as possible. Another really big thing is carrying your ID, cash, credit card, insurance card, and especially your car keys. We don't want your keys to be in a bag that you can't have access to, but you need to get into your car. Same with ID. That's really important just from a safety thing. And all of these are really important, especially prescription medications. If that's something that you need to, take daily, you want that on you. You don't want to not be prepared in case of an emergency. So again, there's a lot of different things to keep in mind. These are all things that we strongly recommend. The ones in bold are, ones that we really do recommend, because it's going to help you with your riding and your weekend. So another kind of hat that I carry is volunteers. So you might have heard me mention we have volunteers that help bring in our luggage. So this is my little pitch to try to get, if you know anyone that wants to help us, we could use volunteers for luggage. This is great if you're trying to get your kids involved, their sports teams, groups. If you are riding Sunday and you want to help volunteer Saturday, we could use it. So volunteer registration goes through July 6th. You can learn more at pmc.org/volunteer. The positions that you see here are ones that we definitely need volunteers for. So we're trying to bring back massage this year for our 2-day riders at MMA. If you know any massage therapists, you see a massage therapist, feel free to reach out to them and see if they want to get involved. We definitely could use help with our logistics Sunday at MMA and Babson. These are some cleanup positions, but it is really important to the event weekend. I've already mentioned luggage. We could also use that at our P-Town site. So it's if you want to kind of have a fun day in P-Town, that's a great way to get your family and friends involved too. And then medical and photography as well. So these are all positions that people can sign up for online. If you have any questions, my name is Justine again, and you can reach me at justine@pmc.org. And with that being said, I'm going to pass it over to Glenn Hawley, who's our Director of Operations. Glenn and I work very closely together to ensure you have a great PMC weekend. So thanks again, and we'll see you in August.
Thanks, Justine. Hi, everyone. As Justine mentioned, my name is Glenn Hawley. I'm the Director of Operations. This is my actual 20th year in this role, trying to make the PMC everything it can be for you and for the weekend. So thank you for riding, and I'm going to go over a few things that I hope you find helpful, and we'll go from there. So first of all, weekend support. We have starts and finishes that we call hub sites, water stops, and then support on the road. So at the hub sites, which are our start lines and our finish lines, Babson, Sturbridge, MMA, Provincetown, 2 sites there actually. And we try to provide the best weekend we possibly can with all the amenities that we can come up with. So, and for 20 years, I've been trying to make this better and better. And usually, we do pretty well. Sometimes, last year was a challenge with the heat and the rain and the others, but we work very hard all year round and work with 3,000-ish volunteers to basically make this weekend that you're about to participate in hopefully one of the best and most memorable things you'll do. So at our hub sites on Friday evening, we do a full dinner, full support. We have great sponsors that provide the food, the beverage, and we'll get into that a little bit. Along the route, every 20 miles or so, we have rest stops that have electrolyte drinks, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, fruits, energy bars, everything you'll need to get you basically down the road to your finish lines, where again, we're going to have these pretty impressive barbecues and parties. We have live bands. It's really just a really wonderful weekend all around. Very, obviously people are doing this for different reasons, but we really try to just make sure that all your needs are taken care of throughout PMC weekend. On the road, we have first aid and medical. We have about 30 vans with 30 road crew vans that have a medical and a mechanical person in each of those vans. And then we also have another 10 to 15 vans. If you break down or can't go any further, we can get you to the next stop and get you to where you need to be. So we really pride ourselves on providing all the amenities you're going to need to have a great weekend. Up next, we're going to talk a little bit about weekend logistics. We have lodging available. We have lodging for you on Saturday night that we provide. We also have there is some Friday lodging available still in Sturbridge, and then Friday evening there are the actual Babson lodging is sold out, but there are hotels nearby or most people who do the Babson start usually live in the area. We also have transportation. We have buses that bring you to Sturbridge on Friday, either from Boston or from Babson. Those are still available. And then we have bus transportation on Saturday from MMA back to Babson or Sturbridge. And then Sunday we have ferries. The traditional ferry is still available. The fast ferry is still available. And we also have buses that will bring you back to Bourne, Babson, or Sturbridge. So if you haven't signed up for those, you can on your dashboard. Or if you have questions about that, please let us know. I should point out that PMC, it's a complex event. We have 6,000 plus riders, 3,000 plus volunteers, and a lot of options. So it can be a little confusing, can be a little hard to understand. So any questions regarding what you should be doing or how to do it, please put your questions in the chat and we'll answer them as best we can. And we'll also, or give us a call at the office and we'll do everything we can. So, all right, up next is training and nutrition. We have a new sponsor, the Feed, who's actually going to be providing a lot of the bars and the gels that you'll be receiving at our water stops along the way. The Feed is actually going to host a webinar on training and nutrition on May 24th, and we'll be sending out more information and a way to sign up for that on May 16th. So look forward to that, and we'll be able to answer questions for you on that. Also, if you go to our website, pmc.org/train, which I think you can get also from the ride page, there's some information on training rides as well as some nutrition there now, but that's being updated as we speak because of, like I said, this new sponsor that we're working with. Up next, I just want to point you to our sponsor page. These are just some of the sponsors that really help make PMC what it is. We've talked a bit about how much money we're going to raise this year, and the fact that we pass through 100% of every rider raised dollar, and how we do that is basically through these and other sponsors. We're always looking for ways to make PMC weekend great for you. And these companies basically help us do that. And speaking of that, how do these companies come to the PMC? How do we get sponsors? Most of our sponsors have come through riders who have participated in PMC and are really interested in making it better, or how can they contribute? How can they get their employees involved? So if you own a company, work for a company, have a family member that has a company that has a product that you think might make PMC even better, please let me know. Reach out. It's Glenn, GLYNN @pmc.org. Throw it in the chat here, or just reach out, contact me any way you can, and I'd love to talk to you about how we can work together. But basically, you'll see products from products from a lot of these companies on site. I'm in charge mostly of the food and bev, so the burgers, the hot dogs, the beer, the soda, the energy bars, the electrolyte drink. That's all everything you see is going to be donated, and we couldn't do it without these companies. And it's like I said, we work very hard to make sure that this is the best weekend you'll have of the year. And I look forward to putting this on, working with my colleagues and the volunteers, and hope that you truly appreciate all that we're doing for you. Up next is we're going to bring it back to Jarrett Collins, who's going to go over some closing thoughts, and then I think we're going to go into some Q&A. Jarrett.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks very much, Glenn. I really appreciate that. By the way, for those of you who are wondering, we have a total year-round staff at the Pan Mass Challenge of 12 and a half full-time staff. And in the summertime, we expand to another 6 interns. So we've got a lot of folks on the other side of the phone lines, or at the other end of an email, to support you and to answer some of the questions that Glenn has pointed out. Because we do try to meet so many riders with different arrangement needs, we try to make sure that's clear to everyone. So to remind you, we are taking your questions at the Q&A button on your Zoom window. So please go ahead and put those in there. And in just a few minutes, we'll start to answer some of those. We're delighted that you're going to be riding in PMC 2023, but that's not all we're doing to raise money for Dana-Farber Cancer Institute in the coming 12 months. The PMC is these additional spokes in the wheel that extend our reach into the community. And like the PMC that you're riding in August, 100% of everything that participants in these events raise goes straight to Dana-Farber. First, we enroll into our mission the PMC's youngest riders. And these are ages 3 to 13 in our PMC Kids Rides. It's a collection of 20 considerably shorter rides for children that are held in towns throughout southern New England. And they happen each spring and fall, the majority of them in the spring. Kids ride together, they raise money to fight cancer, and they learn about giving back at an early age. So look for the Kids Ride section of our PMC website for more details and a complete listing of locations. It's a great way for the whole family to get involved in the PMC. Next, this September 23rd, we are hosting our second annual PMC Unpaved. It's in the Berkshires of Western Massachusetts. It's like the PMC, but off-road. We have 2 routes, 30 miles and 50 miles, on picturesque gravel roads, starting and finishing at a beautiful lakeside camp near Tanglewood in Lenox, Massachusetts. It's a full weekend experience. Riders can arrive on Friday night, sleep at the camp, ride Saturday, and then enjoy the post-ride celebration. It's got great music. It's got delicious food and drinks, games, and of course the camaraderie of friends, both new ones and old ones after the ride. Registration for PMC Unpaved is open now, but it's limited to 500 riders. So tell your friends who ride gravel to check it out soon at unpaved.org or through our main PMC website. Lastly, we'll host the PMC Winter Cycle again in early 2024 on spin bikes at Fenway Park. Winter Cycle riders sign up for 1-hour sessions. There are 5 of them, each led by some of the best spin instructors in Boston. It creates a full day of emotional, high energy fun overlooking Fenway Park, and it's followed by an after party across the street at the Lansdowne Pub. Really a day not to be missed. That date and other details about the 2024 Winter Cycle will be posted on pmc.org later this year. Okay, now it's time to get to your questions. And I'm going to ask for help from Jessica Otto-Gay, who will probably trade back and forth in terms of helping me sort through these. And we'll also call on our fellow staff members to help answer them as needed. And I will go ahead and just take the first question in order. And Jessica, maybe you take the second one. So this one has to do with Facebook fundraisers. Great. Katie is saying that the donate button on her Facebook fundraiser isn't working when people try to access through a mobile phone. Katie, I don't know if anybody else has had that issue before, but I will say that we can get our fundraising team on that this evening and make sure that we can run that to ground. You know, working with Facebook or Meta, as they're now called, can always be can be interesting, right? Because they run a whole platform. Some of it is meant to accommodate fundraisers. Much of it is meant to accommodate other functions. And every once in a while, they surprise us with a new feature or function. But I will look into that one. And if you have additional concerns tomorrow, please do reach out to the PMC office. We'll try to figure out if it's a systemic issue or not. Okay, go ahead, Jessica.
So can a husband pick up kit and credentials for a spouse? The answer to that is no. Nobody can pick up somebody else's credential. You need to have your ID ready on hand when you pick up your credentials, so the volunteer can match your rider kit to your credentials. And yep, it'll match the name on your band. So we have another question from Joseph. Hours for check-in at Wellesley. Justine, do you want to take that question?
Sure. So both Sturbridge and Wellesley, so for those that are starting in Sturbridge, it's from 2 to 8 on Friday. And so there will be food. You can pick up your packet. We'll have our sponsor expos. It'll be really great. So definitely recommend trying to do that Friday if you are able to. So that way it's one less thing you have to worry about come your ride day.
Thanks, Justine. Okay, the next question up is about the PMC phone app last year. Bonnie points out that app did not work as intended. And so, yes, we are going back to the RFID tag on your bike, as in years past. And that will be a passive way to track riders so that they don't have to do anything in terms of turning on an app or otherwise activating tracking for Saturday and or Sunday rides.
Riding Born to P-Town Sunday only. Can I get my credentials on Saturday like last year? Yes, you'll be able to pick up your credentials on Saturday like last year. That is correct.
In Bourne, correct?
Yes, in Born, correct.
Thank you. Okay. Paul writes, what hotels available for Sturbridge? Paul, we work, as you may know, with a set of hotels in Sturbridge and in surrounding towns. I'm not quite sure what's available right now. One of our head staff volunteers, who's an amazing hospitality veteran, helps us work on that. So what I'm going to suggest is go ahead and contact our office tomorrow. You could probably ask for Justine, and she can connect you up to make sure that you have the accommodations that you need in Sturbridge.
Ben asked, what's the most common mistake first timers make in preparing for the PMC and how can I avoid it? So I will answer that one as a staff member and a past fundraiser and actually a rider. Myself, I rode from 2014 to 2017. I would say one mistake is not starting your fundraising early enough and asking enough. Ask more than once. Don't just ask once, do multiple asks. The worst thing people can say is no, and people are going to give what they're able to give if you ask. So it doesn't hurt to ask. And then another piece of advice that I would give the first timers is, even if it says that it's going to be really sunny out, bring rain gear. Always have rain gear on you. My first year that I rode was in 2014, and it rained and it was 50 degrees and I didn't have enough rain gear. So that is another first timer, common mistake that I would say, always be prepared for rain, and it's never, too early to start your fundraising and to ask often. Those are my two pieces of advice.
Thanks, Jessica. Christine writes that she's a single rider and she wonders if she can be involved in the Pedal Partner program as a single rider. I would actually probably have Bill Alfano, if he can hear me, answer that question.
Sure. I would still reach out to Sophie, Sophie at pmc.org. Traditionally, we try to team pedal partners up with teams, or at least groups of riders, even if they're not in a team. We just want to make sure that all the experiences that the pedal partners have are as equal as can be. But with that said, why don't you reach out to Sophie directly tomorrow? And she can give you some information, and perhaps there's a way to maybe combine some single riders or things like that. So reach out to her tomorrow and she'll get right back to you. Thank you.
Do I need to be a part of a team to be paired with a child, or can I be paired as an individual? I'm not a part of a team, but I want to be involved. I'm assuming this means in the Pedal Partner program, and I don't know the answer to that question. So I'm either going to direct it over to Bill, or I'm going to ask that you reach out to Sophie and ask, but I'm going to let.
I think that's the same question from a different person. So that's great. There's two people right there. So maybe we can combine a couple solo riders and see what we can do. Same answer. Just email Sophie at pmc.org and we'll get back to you on that one. Thank you.
Great. Jen writes, for Sunday only riders from Bourne to P-Town is registration for packet pickup solely on Saturday in Bourne. And I believe the answer to that is yes, but maybe I'd call on Justine or Glenn. Glenn will call on for a moment. It gets too lonely to if he's got a different answer.
Yeah. So you can pick it up Saturday in Bourne at the Mass Maritime Academy. It's actually at the finish line area, or Sunday morning at the Kendall Ray lot near the Hampton Inn is where the two places you can pick that. You can pick up your kit for the Sunday Bourne to P-Town race.
And presumably for people who haven't committed all that to memory, that information will also be available in the handbook, and it will be mailed to you depending on where your start location is. If you're a Bourne to P-Town rider, you'll get a dedicated email. This is actually relevant to everyone.
Yeah, and technically those kits start in Sturbridge, so we don't normally. Not a lot of people pick their kits up in Sturbridge, but they are there. So if that was really your question, that's what you want to happen, reach out to us and we'll see if we can make that happen as well. But the official answer is, and don't tell anyone because there's just 3 or 4 of us on this call, Bourne on Saturday or Sunday.
Glenn, why don't you keep going if you don't mind? I see
Sure.
about for one-day riders, if you take a bus back from MMA to Babson, how does your bike get back to Boston?
Sure. So we have tractor trailers that will bring your bike back to your final location. So if you're finishing in Provincetown on Sunday or on Saturday at Mass Maritime Academy, your bike would go on a truck back to the finish, and you would actually carry your bag on the bus with you. And that's we do that for again, as I talked earlier, there's a lot of different options and some confusion or some confusing scenarios, but generally, if you're on a bus, your bag goes with you and your bike goes on a truck. If you're on a fast ferry, you bring your bike and your bag with you. If you're on this party ferry, slow ferry, your bag goes on the truck to Boston, your bike goes on the truck to Boston. And then there's some other scenarios too. If you have questions, just reach out and I can answer specifically.
Jessica, can you answer? It looks like in the order on my screen anyway, questions 1 and 3 together, they're from the same individual.
Yes, for the I joined the call late, so perhaps this was covered. Is there a sample template solicitation letter that I can use for my fundraising efforts? And how do I add a link for my pledges, donors, so I can get the appropriate credit for my efforts? Yes, you are going to want to log into your dashboard. You're going to want to log in at pmc.org. And once you log in, you will see a bunch of different options for donations, email templates. The email templates are going to be I believe what you're looking for, the sample template solicitation letter that you can edit and send out to your donors. And then how do you add a link for your pledges, donors, so that you can get a credit for your efforts? So if you send out the link to your page via email, it will have your number and it will go directly to your fundraising efforts. But if you send in checks, you will want to send them to our office address in Needham with your PMC ID attached either on the envelope or on the check itself. And you can find your PMC ID by logging into your dashboard, and in the top right-hand corner where it says your name, you should see the 2 letters at the beginning of your first and last name, and then 4 digits after that, and that's your PMC ID.
Let's see. Stephen asked about picking up rider kits the night before. We talked about that. Jean asked about ride sharing permitted. I'm not sure I know what that means. So Jean, I'm sorry I can't give you a good answer there, but do reach out to our office if you have more questions. Ruben said he sent a link out to his profile page for fundraising. Most people got it fine, but Android phones were challenged in access to the page. Don't know about that one. Jessica, any ideas?
No, but if you can email us more information, we can definitely help you and see if we can figure out what went wrong and what you're looking for. First timer, what's the chances you will get lost along the route? Very low chances, as long as you follow all of the signage that we'll have. It's color coded. We have, lots of escorts on the road. You'll see lots of other bikers on the road. And if you think that you may have gotten lost, call 1-800-WE-CYCLE and you'll be able to talk with, the people that we have in our command, and you'll be able to give them, clues as to where you are. And, if you're off the route, they'll be able to get you back on the route.
You raised
To that, Jarrett.
Yeah, I think I might just double click on that for a moment. We have a command center that is open all weekend long, and it's at the number that Jessica mentioned, 1-800-WE-CYCLE. It's staffed by over a dozen volunteers, public safety officials, and really experienced PMC leaders who are basically waiting for your calls. If you need to call in for something, deploying medical, mechanical personnel as need be, and making sure that our ride is fully supported. So you use that over the weekend as you need to, and it can even be for something as being lost. Best practices for running fundraisers on Facebook, Jessica, is that something that you want to comment on?
Best practices for fundraising on Facebook. The first is to create the fundraiser through your PMC dashboard. That creates an integrated fundraiser, and that means that all the donations will flow through to your Facebook account if you make it integrated. If you create it through Facebook, it just takes twice as long for donations to come through, and they don't come through with a rider name attached. So that's best practices for Facebook donations. Also, to just share often and invite people to donate there, is an invite option on Facebook fundraisers, and you can invite people that you are friends with on Facebook to make a donation directly through your Facebook page.
Erin, wants to know if she can meet her family at the P-Town Monument Finish. The answer is yes. And additionally, Erin, you can buy guest meal tickets if you'd like to have them come inside and enjoy a post-ride meal with you. Jessica, you want to take the next one? That is from Heather.
What time should you be dropped off in Sturbridge in the morning if you are not staying local the night before? I'm going to turn that over either to Justine or Glenn.
I'll take it. So the ride, I believe, starts at 5:30. We probably 4:15 to 4:30 is about the time you probably want to get there. I'd also suggest, if you can, to pick up your credentials on Friday, as well as drop your bike off at the Sturbridge host. That's probably best case scenario. If you haven't done any of that on Friday and you're just coming in, maybe even a little earlier than that.
Doug asked, will there be Dells Lemonade in Lakeville this year? Glenn, do you have any opinion on that?
As of right now, the answer is no. We're working on with sponsors to find out and figure out what we can do to make each site the best it can be. So I haven't given up on any of those sites, and we will be looking for sponsors to come in and provide additional product, food and beverage and experiences to all of our sites.
Okay. Jessica, we can take the next one.
Let's see. So somebody asked, where can I find the tax ID number? It is on our website under nonprofit documents, but just for you, Michael, and for those rewatching this afterwards, it is 04-274-6912. 04-274-6912. And I'm gonna send it here if we can see it.
Yeah, that's great.
All right.
What time do you need to be in Wellesley on Saturday? Saturday rolls at 6:45, I believe. So I would try to get there, around 5:30 or so, just to kind of make sure that you still have to pick up credentials. And Ryan asked, by the way, picking up credentials in Sturbridge, can you do it Friday afternoon? The answer is absolutely yes. Do I try the next one, Jessica, top of the list?
Yes, I actually have an update from Trisha from medical volunteers, and she said that the medical volunteers would like to remind riders to carry any important medications in your seat bag. Please update your profile with the phone number you will have with you on PMC weekend. So just basically make sure that your medical information is all up to date. It's very important that you have your contact up to date and your medications up to date, and that you carry your medications with you. I have a question from Christine. I joined a few minutes late, came in for Pedal Partners. Is this being recorded to see if I missed anything? Yes, this is being recorded if you missed anything, and you can also email Sophie, SOPHIE @pmc.org for any Pedal Partner questions.
I'm going to throw this question over to Billy if you can hear me. Just unmute, turn on your video, and I'll know. But the question is there an opening ceremony at Sturbridge on Friday night?
Yes, there is an opening ceremony. We do a live with me, what we call the pre-event, and then we do a TV show with Channel 4 that will be WBZ, but it'll be broadcast, well, their talent. Lisa Hughes and David Wade but broadcast on WSBK this year, channel 38, and streaming live. So it's great community. It sets the emotional tone for the weekend and gets people pumped up to hopefully go to bed early and get on their bikes. Earlier still, 5:30 from Sturbridge.
Thank you very much. Great show. Okay, first time rider. Do you recommend that folks bring a bag with things like a change of clothes for pickup when we get to board? Absolutely. You know, as proudly as you're going to be wearing that PMC 2023 jersey, after a day in the saddle, you may want to change out of it and even get a shower. So throw in a towel and change of clothes. By all means, it'll be much more comfortable to celebrate it.
I am riding the Wellesley Century on Sunday. Is there parking for the day at Babson? Yes, there is absolutely parking for the day at Babson. And all of our parking information will be available in our event handbook as well. If part of a team, can we pool our fundraising as a team? So in short, each rider is responsible individually for their own fundraising commitment, but when a team is created, you can send the team page out as a fundraising page and have people make donations to the team page, and the team captain can split up the funds made to the team page to the different riders on the team. And if anybody wants to create a team, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and I can get a team created for you. You know, teams are run at individual, you know, at the individual captain's discretion. So we have corporate sponsorship teams, we have family teams, we have a lot of different kinds of teams. So if you have any interest in creating a team, send me an email and I can help you and I can get it created. And if you have any interest in joining a team, I'll see what I can do to find a team for you.
Great. I'm going to tick off one or two more of these here just to I think get to our closing in a moment, Jessica. So Richard, if you'd like to change your finish from Sunday at the P-Town Inn to the P-Town family finish, you can do so. And so if you can't do it, I think he could just do it online, Jessica, am I right? Or does he have to contact the office?
He should be able to do it, but because this is closed now, he might not be able to. So I would just ask that he reaches out to the office and we can do this for you.
So it's a great point. And here's an interesting one for you. Stephen asks if a spouse can use their Facebook account for a Facebook fundraiser or live fundraiser.
Yes, they can. If your spouse isn't, I'm gonna ask that you email the office so we can take a double look into this and make sure. It shouldn't be a problem, but I want to make sure that we're going to give you the right instructions on how to have, your spouse set up a fundraiser for you and make sure that it can have your name attached and go towards your fundraiser, even though it's under their Facebook account. So just send an email to panmass@pmc.org and we will be able to make sure that we can get this set up for you as needed.
Two questions regarding navigation. Is there a ride with GPS or similar app for Garmin? One of the other riders responded, which is very helpful. Yes, you can download the routes depending on which one you're riding. They're all there, and they are Ride with GPS is the place where we stored each of those routes. And then you pick the one that you're riding. You can download. Traditionally, it's a .gpx file. Garmin may have some other preferences. I think sometimes Garmin's prefer .mit files. But in any event, you could download it in any format that's common, and you can put that on your bike computer or on your phone, and use that to navigate during the day.
We have a comment from Matthew. A shout out to the PMC staff and volunteers. It's a huge undertaking and so well thought out and planned and really flawless. First time riders, you are in for an impressive experience. That was a very nice comment and I wholeheartedly agree. There's really nothing like PMC weekend. So everybody that is still listening, you are really in for a treat on PMC weekend.
It's going to be tough to follow that question / comment. But But there was a question about whether or not a rider can join along the route as suggested during COVID. The answer is yes. If you would like to be able to start not at one of our starting hub sites, but as long as you've already picked up your credentials, for instance, the afternoon before, by all means, you're welcome to start along the route wherever it's most convenient and most comfortable to you. And then the last question I'm going to answer, so we can do a wrap. Actually, two of them. One, explain again how your family can track you using the chip. Two ways, or two steps to that process. One, attach your bike tag properly, as there'll be good communication on that when you pick up your credentials. And then two, make sure that you pass along the instructions that we will give you at registration and actually even beforehand on our website and in an email. So we'll make that very clear as we go closer to the event. You get the last one, Jessica.
I'm curious if we are seeing a hotel in P-Town on Sunday night. Is there easy ways to get ourselves to our hotel with our bikes and bags after the challenge? If you're ending at the P-Town Inn, your bikes and bags your bags will be there as you end the ride if you put them on the truck wherever you are leaving from Sunday morning. Jarrett, do you have any other?
I think it looks like Glenn is appearing on my screen. Maybe you can answer.
P-Town's small enough that you should be able to get from the inn or to the Monument Finish, pretty much to any of the hotels nearby. Basically, if you finish at the inn, your bag will be brought to the inn. If you finish at the Monument Finish, your bag will be brought to the Monument Finish. From there, you know, it's August, it's Provincetown, it's very crowded, it's hard to get around, but it is a pretty small site. So pack light and ride your bike to the hotel if you're not staying at the P-Town Inn would be my recommendation.
And lastly, the question is there a wait list for the fast ferry from P-Town? The answer is no, but I believe we still have one of the fast ferries that are still open. Is that right?
Yes, the 12 p.m. fast ferry is still available, as well as the 3 p.m. Traditional ferry is still available. We don't have wait lists though.
Okay, thank you. Listen, everyone, thank you very much for being here. As we wrap up, just want to reiterate how much it means to all of us that you've committed to the PMC and that you're fighting cancer at Dana-Farber. Your summer journey begins now. If you haven't started fundraising, trust me, it's a lot less intimidating once you actually start. We have lots of resources on our website, as you've heard, with any questions, not to mention these highly effective tools. And remember, you're not alone. If you get stuck anywhere along this PMC journey, reach out. Our office staff is here to help you every weekday. Go to pmc.org. I want to thank you. Have a great evening and have a great PMC 2023.